So, we all know the tornado. One of the most annoying wargames modifiers in the game. Especially if you are a new player to Endurance and trying to build your base. Even more annoying than the hotspots at some point. At least we can build around them, but the tornado will force you to change the whole build. But not anymore. Apparently, after all these years we have been building and playing Endurance and war games, struggling with the tornado removing our traps, it was a bug. That's right, a bug. It shouldn't do that at all. But now we just knew after like 5 years. If you don't know what that is, here's a quick recap. So, we have this tornado modifier in the game. It spawns during Endurance and war games. It damages your structures really bad as you see right now in this clip. So, to avoid getting your tunnels destroyed by this tornado, you have to use tier 3 metal and a high building health bonus like I explained in this video. It may be a bit hard for Stonewood Endurance players if they just started the game, since the tornado may be a bit hard to handle during wave 20, because they don't have high building health bonus yet, but not for long. And for the rest, it's not an issue. But the real problem was that this tornado used to remove any roof or floor traps it touches. And you can't know for sure the exact location it will hit, even the direction. It's all random. It can literally wipe out your whole tunnel if you don't know what to do. And if you don't think this is annoying, watch this. You see how I built this build without any roof and floor traps? Only wall traps. And this spawn cover with drop traps will be gone if the tornado hit this roof. For that, we had to edit our builds for Endurance like this. In bases like Stonewood and Plankerton, it wasn't impossible to build, but it was pretty annoying. But in bases like Canny Valley and Twine Peaks, it's no joke. We had to shift the main tunnel far away sometimes and use ton of block-offs to force the husk and smashers to follow that far path. Just like Pit Amplifier. People hate to use all of these block-offs just to force the husk to the path near to the lava to recycle them. But it was a must. The tornado hit this amp during wave 4, a very early wave. Imagine it removed a lot of your roof and floor traps in just wave 4. You still have waves 14, 24, and any random wave, maybe 26 if you were lucky. We couldn't afford losing most of these traps just in wave 4. That's why in my opinion a recycle build for this amp was the best, and still to be honest. And don't get me wrong, you could use a damage build for this amplifier, even with the tornado removing the traps. But I won't make a build and ask you to use max traps damage and durability for it to work. I try to cover a build that works and helps everyone. That's why I still believe that a recycle build is still the best for this amp. It doesn't require a very high durability ratio, and you don't need to worry about smashers and mini-bosses at all. If you are up to date lately with Twine Peaks Endurance, you already know how smashers' behavior is amiss right now. I'm already tested this damage build 2 times, and smashers already an issue during wave 14. Imagine waves 24 and 26. But with recycle builds, you don't need to worry about that at all. But if you still want a damage build, it will be easier than before. Now after fixing the tornado, and being able to build inside terrains. I'm already testing one right now. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a new damage build for Pit Amplifier, or an updated recycle build. And I want to explain one thing. People think that using a lot of block-offs is bad, and using damage builds will be better. Well, that's right and wrong at the same time. Yes, using damage build and a closer path will cost less block-offs. But will cost more traps. Like the block-offs will be just structures. But a damage tunnel with only 10 structures for example, will cost around 20 structures or more, depending on how many traps you will use. Because traps count as structures too. And this point still confuse a lot of people. I get this comment a lot, I build everything exact like you, and don't have enough structures to finish the build. And when I check, I found a lot of extra traps everywhere. I explained this point more in this video, it will help you a lot if you have this issue. So, if the build looks smaller, doesn't mean it's cheaper. Do your math for your builds and decide what is better for you. And if it costs more, doesn't mean it's bad. Adding extra parts, block-offs or traps is not a bad thing. Using an expensive tunnel is not always a bad thing. For me personally, I always add extra block-offs. Yes, having extra structures is good, but it won't be good when I lose during late wave and Twine Peaks Endurance like 28 or 30 just because a smasher went crazy and decided to take a shortcut through your block-offs. We all know how smashers are crazy right now. And I think we will have that for a very long time now. I'm testing this damage build right now to see how it goes. I'm trying to make the block-offs cheap as possible to see how it will work during waves 25 and 26. Now most likely smashers will reach the amp more often, no damage traps will be able to eliminate all the smashers during waves 24 and 26. We never tested this amp with amp designs and loop bridges like the rest of the amplifiers. Smashers never reach it 99% of the times. This video is too late I know, I always wanted to explain these points about Pit Amplifier build. And after fixing the tornado bug, it was the best time to make it. That should cover everything about this video. If there's any updated about the current build or the new build, I will update you in the description. If this video helped, don't forget to use code Larsis in the item shop if you want to support me, helps me a lot. Big thanks for all the channel members, super chats on the stream, everyone uses my creator code, and all the support, really appreciate it. Like, subscribe if you are enjoying the content, helps the video to reach more people. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, see you in the next one.